Yes.
That's all right.
Signing everything away. You know, that's right. I have that too. Just take it all.
Good evening, I'm calling in order the Jamestown City Council meeting to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Here.
Dole?
Here.
Scotchmer?
Here.
Jarzynski? Here. Faulkner?
Present.
Montiglio?
Here.
Enquist?
Present.
Gonzalez?
Here.
President Brackman?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Dr. William Blair of New Creation Church. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please pray with me. Father, we love you and we thank you for your goodness to us. Every morning we wake up and we see the sun and we see the sky. We're thankful for all that you do. Father, I'm asking your blessing upon our city. I thank you for our leadership, the people in the council, the mayor, the leaders that operate our police and fire forces, and all those in offices throughout this city that make things work. Father, I pray that tonight is a good night for them. I pray that as the days unfold and as spring comes upon us, that your hand would be upon our city, that the inhabitants of our city would find the blessing of plenty, that that everything that we do as a community comes together in celebration and has and experiences the touch of your glory and your presence. We love you and thank you for this. And we ask this all in the name of Christ. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Approval of the minutes for February 23rd, 2006, voting session. Thank you. Any messages from the mayor?
We do. Dear council members, in March 2026, the City of Jamestown bids farewell to a dedicated City of Jamestown Police Department employee who retired from his position and duties, Detective Matt Hackermeyer. I kindly request that we celebrate and commend a retiree for his exemplary service to the City of Jamestown and its constituents during the upcoming March 30th, 2026 City Council meeting. Very truly yours, Kimberly Eklund, Mayor. To the City Council of the City of Jamestown, New York, council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the Charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Timothy Jackson, 16 May Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed a member of the Veterans Memorial Commission in for the City of Jamestown to fill the unexpired term of William Service deceased. The term for which said appointment will be made to expire is December 31st, 2027. Kimberly A. Eklund, Mayor.
So do I make a motion for the approval of the appointment? Second. We will do a roll for the voting of the appointment.
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Wills?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman?
Aye. Thank you. Okay, now there's an opportunity for anybody that would like to address the city council. Please state your name, your home address, and you have 5 minutes to speak. Is there anyone that would like to address the city council tonight?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Wolf, 212 Fulton Street. A couple of sessions ago, at a work session, there was a presentation done by members of the Department of Development. It was done after we had our time to talk, so I'd like to touch on that just a moment from a tenant's perspective. As I mentioned before, I'm a renter, so I have experience with this. I lived at 1035 North Main Street about 5 years ago. For about 2 years, we were complaining about our roof leaking. It's a whole house, and our dining room downstairs, light fixture, had water pouring out of it. So, Department of Development, I don't think we notified them about that one because we were worried about losing the place. Anyway, we withheld rent for a few months, and they came and they fixed the roof. And I guess the neighbor contacted the Department of Development at that point, and it was found out that they didn't get permits, there weren't inspections done, which we as tenants didn't know. We were just living there, the work was getting done, so we paid them their rent. And maybe about 2 weeks later, there was an orange sign on the door, and we were told that usually 24 to 72 hours was given to vacate the premises. We were given a week because we had 5 kids. This is the experience from the Tenants Act when we follow through with the Department of Development's process. We report, the owners are notified. The owners, if they don't take care of it because they own too many, or they own through LLCs, and therefore they're not responsible, they don't care. They let them get to that decline to that point, and we suffer. That's part of the problem with our homelessness rate here in Jamestown. Just a part of it. Because when those houses get condemned, you think you're punishing the owners, but you're putting the people who live there at risk because it's not the owner that lives there. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council? State your name, address, and
Robin Prasad, 157 Delaware Street, Lakewood. Good evening, everyone. I'm a landowner, property owner here in the city of Jamestown, and I would like to accelerate the rehab of existing homes that we have vacant in the city. Come to realize that there are a lot of restrictions when you're a property owner and you have amassed a certain amount of properties. For example, for grant funding. Currently, there's limits on grant funding for landlords that have, I think, more than 20 units, for example, even if they're under different LLCs, it's still counted as one owner. Certainly, we're not trying to hide as a landlord behind our LLCs, but yet again, we feel that it's a little bit more punitive to us because even if we have 5 units versus 50 units, if you look at it on a scale, we still have the same expenses as someone owning 5 units. Because we pay the same taxes, we have the same concerns, the same maintenance issues. Currently, there's an issue with lead in our county, as we all know, and one of the primary...
If you can afford that many units, you shouldn't buy it. You should maintain what you own. Bull crap, you don't need federal funding.
One of the bigger issues that we have found that a lot of the older homes here that we have our tenants in have lead issues because of lead paint in the past that was used. And we've identified some of the causes of this, and it's doors and windows that are primarily the concerns. And I would just like the restrictions to be removed if possible so we can get the funding when there's more available grant funding given to the city. So that's it, that's all I have, thank you.
I know that we'll probably chat in the next couple of days, but just to clarify, that restriction is not imposed by the city, that is by our funder. So there's not much we can do about that one.
is there anyone else that would like to address the city council? Please state your name, home address, and your 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, I'm Melinda Staller, and I own property at 17 West Cowley Place. I feel that it's important to educate ourselves as Americans regarding Sharia law and Islam in America. I speak as an educated woman that owns property. The Islamic system requires increased taxes for people that do not convert to Islam, which requires following the framework of Sharia law. Sharia law contradicts Western values, including religious freedom and women's rights, such as voting rights and the right for girls and women to pursue higher education. The state of Texas has been in the news regarding the infiltration of Sharia law. It is a topic at the state level in conservative politics in Texas. Governor Abbott signed law banning Sharia compounds in Texas. In Collins County, Sharia law compounds were banned to propose residential developments. The press release is dated September 12, 25, if anyone would like to read it. I have some basic information to share regarding Sharia law, which was prepared by Jean and Terry Bailey at Flashpoint. It's one page and can also be requested directly from Flashpoint, which is on YouTube and Roku, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. I have a few copies if anyone would like a copy. I believe it's important for our community to be informed and able to engage in meaningful dialogue if this topic arises. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have a question on this?
Good evening, my name is Anthony Toda. I live at 144 Clifton Avenue, Jamestown, New York. I'm making my statements based on media reports and my own experiences. On March 21st, 2026 at about 12:33 a.m., I telephoned the Jamestown Police to complain of traffic noise and reckless driving where I stay at times on Maple Street. I spoke with the command desk officer and none of my issues were addressed. At least 30 years of deliberate gross negligence by the Jamestown Police will allow ridiculously loud traffic noise and reckless driving to torment, harass, cause sleep deprivation, and shorten my life is in effect attempted murder. This gross negligence is deliberate because traffic noise and reckless driving began abruptly after I was over 40 years old and hasn't stopped since under police chiefs McLaughlin, Rader, Snellings, Jackson, and now Forrester. During that time, I asked for assistance to solve these issues from Mayor Teresi, Sundquist, and present Mayor Eklund. The fact that the Jamestown Police, their chiefs, and the mayors will not solve these issues is deliberate gross negligence. Decades of thousands, and that's not a joke, by the way, thousands of my requests for the Jamestown Police to do their duty has had no response except to ruin domestic tranquility and my right to enjoy my property entitled by me by the state and federal constitutions. This constant harassment is a shared responsibility by the Jamestown Police, these administrations, Senator Schumer and Gillibrand, Representatives Reed and Langworthy, and the FBI, who has threatened, harassed, and attempted to entrap myself, just as the Jamestown Police continue to do. There is definitely a nexus between open violations of my rights by local and federal law enforcement. There is a deliberate attempt to eliminate my right to dissent by entrapment. However, I will continue to publicly state your violations. The response by the desk officer to my complaints at 12:33 a.m. is the same as with other law enforcement, including former Chief Snellings, by interrupting and talking over me when I'm trying to make a complaint, instead of listening to my complaints, by frustrating me by years of gross negligence instead of enforcing the law, and by attempting to entrap me without bothering to take my complaints. Recently, I contacted the Federal Public Defender's Office to offer myself as a witness in the Peyton Gendron Tops murder case in federal court. The Federal Public Defenders will not contact me to interview me. The possibility that the FBI, including the Buffalo office, may have been negligent in preventing the Tops murders could be an issue, and my right to make free speech statements on any subject will not be prevented by either by federal agencies or by local police entrapment. And the issue with the Tops murder is very serious. As you study the history of mass murders in this country, as I have, and you don't have to study them very hard to understand that there's a lot of negligence going on, especially by the FBI, who was warned on several of these murders that they were about to happen and did absolutely nothing. Parkland FBI Director McCabe was warned. Comey was warned prior to the Pulse Bar murders. There are several other examples that I can give you. There are court issues, hearings involving a Slender Man case where shared responsibility, and in that particular case was an internet Mimi Slender Man who told the two girls that tried to kill their girlfriend, if they didn't kill their girlfriend, Slender Man would kill their parents. I personally went to 5 days of hearings in Waukesha, and none of the evidence from the website, none of the internet grooming, none of the coercion was ever stated. One girl got 40 years in an institution, and the other one got 25. The responsibility for things, especially including mass murders and attempted murders in this country, I'm asking everybody just to look into them and question them, because there is a serious question here of responsibility, and a lot of it's from the FBI. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council? I don't have any Slender Man problems, but please state your name and your address.
Raven Corvus, I'm at 301 East 8th Street in Jamestown. And I want to thank the council. Fulton has gotten a lot better, but it still could use a little bit more work. There's quite a few drug houses still on East 8th. And I'm sure the 911 dispatch operator just loathes me when I call, but I call as much as I can. I mean, I see on a daily basis with my 9 cameras so much that goes on there, and I know we don't have enough, police officers in the day to just, babysit this road, but there are a couple houses that if it was to be looked into, it would probably make a big difference. And I just also wanted to ask about, the condemned houses, when they're slated to be demolitioned, is it gonna be this summer, or are they working on it still?
Yes.
Are you talking the ones on
Fulton? On Fulton?
Yeah,
Yes. Yep.
because there's a couple on East 8 too that people are squatting in.
We don't have any upcoming on East Street. Fulton is happening first.
Yeah,
But there's just not enough funds to do the ones on 8th Street as well.
yeah.
So we have a list of priorities, and we will get to those as soon as we can, but I can't give you a timeline for the ones on 8th.
Yeah, because one of them on East 8, they are doing drugs out of. They're selling drugs out of. There's a constant flow in and out of the alley, all day. But, I mean, it has gotten better, and I just want to say thank you. I just wish we could do a cleanup, but I was told that, we can't do that because we can't go on people's property. But, I mean, there's even just like suitcases and just garbage, just not even on like property, just on the sidewalk and stuff. It's every time the wind blows, all of us have to go out to our yards and clean up all the garbage because it just goes everywhere. Because I know that there was that big pile there for a while and animals got into it and just, strung it all over. So I know a lot of us, after the windstorms, we do garbage pickup, and I usually get a couple bags just from my yard. So, but yes, thank you.
Ma'am, if I could clarify that for you, you're allowed to go pick up garbage in your neighborhood that's around. The city, obviously, we can't sanction it for insurance reasons.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's in the garbage, we don't know if that garbage is not considered garbage by some, or there's an anchored raccoon hanging out in that garbage. But I routinely pick up garbage in my neighborhood. I know my neighbors do, and we go for it forever. But obviously, for liability reasons, the city can't sanction that.
Well, what if we had like a cleanup day and just put all the bags out in front of our yard with the BPU pick it up for free for us?
That we can look into that with the BPU on that issue.
Because I know we asked about a dumpster and that was a big no. But if we buy the contractor's bags, the really thick contractor's bags, and just go around and pick up the garbage and just put it in front of our yards, in front with our bins, I mean, could it be picked up for free?
Just to clarify, it wasn't a no with the dumpster, we have to go through a process, so if we do enter property that doesn't belong to the city,
Yeah.
we have to go through a process in order to be able to remove that. We have been having conversation about what that might look like. It may end up being that we bring a dumpster and there's some properties that we still just can't enter.
Yeah.
But there may be properties that we
But
can't.
if there's,
So-
if the owners are absent,
If-
what does it matter? Out of sight, out of mind, if we pick up the garbage.
You might be able to go take the garbage off the property, but we cannot.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know they go pick up needles and they walk through all the, houses. I mean, even the house next to me, it's for sale, it's not abandoned, and they go on their property and pick up the needles. So, I mean, why can't we and just put it out on the curb and have BPU pick it up for free?
We could look into the BPU picking up as far as neighbor cleanup.
Yeah.
Obviously with the city though, we
Yeah.
can't sanction that.
I mean, that would be great if you just do that. I
We
mean,
do have, Hands-on Jamestown coming up as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
May 16th.
Mhm.
So we'll start advertising that soon, and we will hand out, gloves and bags and the tools and everything, to do it, you don't have to do this specified downtown neighborhood, you can do your own neighborhood. So that might be even almost a fun opportunity to kind of rally the neighbors and.
yeah,
So.
there's not
and
much
you
of
get
us
free
left,
t-shirts.
but, I mean, we're willing to do it ourselves, just to get the eyesore out of there. Because it's nice now that, I think there was like 3, houses demolished, and it looks great.
And there will be more.
Yeah. So, okay, thank you. No, thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council this evening? Alrighty. Any presentations of petitions or communications?
We did receive one communication from a constituent. I often watch the council meetings online. I believe it is important taxpayers have the option open to watch public meetings online. Many more people are taking advantage of this and are indeed watching online. I have encouraged people on my page to participate in meetings. There are many other people in the community encouraging people to watch or show up to the meetings. Showing up in person is not always possible. If someone cannot make it to the council meeting, they can watch and hear what is going on by going online to jamestowny.gov. All of the council meetings are there, as well as most of the committee meetings. This is an invaluable resource for the community. There is only one problem, and it's a big one. We cannot understand or hear much of what is going on and being said. There are too few mics. There doesn't seem to be any thought put into the fact that taxpayers are watching and trying to listen. I often have the volume turned up full blast in my ear to the laptop speaker just to hear what is being said. I should not have to do that. I'm asking you to please consider that taxpayers are watching these meetings and want to be able to hear and see what is being said. Has any thought been put into this? Where are the mics? Why can't we hear? I'm suggesting that a professional is hired and money be allocated to make sure that the meetings are easily heard by the public. We want to watch. We want to get involved. Please hire or use in-house talent to make it possible for everyone to be heard. At work meetings, there needs to be a minimum of 4 mics. One for the mayor and the council president, one for the public, and one on each of the council tables. The public wants to listen to the meetings. As of today, we cannot hear them. Thank you very much, Tommy and Laura.
So I spoke with Mr. and Laura about this issue a couple weeks ago and told them I'd look into it, and then he wrote this letter before we had another meeting. I reached out to our IT department, and it is kind of a complex thing to deal with. I reached out to one of my buddies that does streaming, and he said that they might have a couple options they use, so he's going to send me some information, and I'm going to get with Mark Dean and look at it. He said some of them aren't very expensive. If there is an option that will work for us to cover the meetings, I will just pay for and donate to the city. Because several other people did reach out to me and say that that's an issue, so I just want Tom to know that we're working on it, even if he thinks we're not. Thank you.
Thank you. Report of our standing committees, we'll go with finance. That's 17 resolutions in finance. The first 8 will be presented by Councilwoman Faulkner.
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing payment of the regular audit.
I'm sorry. Any questions or comments? Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Faulkner?
Aye.
Bonfiglia?
Aye.
Inquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Bracken?
Aye.
Thank you. I have a resolution urging the New York State Legislature to include, at a minimum, $100 million in temporary municipal assistance in the adopted state budget.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a non-exclusive master project agreement with Ramsey Agriculture.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
I have a resolution accepting the City of Jamestown credit card policy.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Brackman.
Aye.
President Brackman, sorry.
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing the Jamestown Police Department to purchase Apricot Case Management Software for Project Crossroads from Bonterra Tech LLC for a total purchase price of $22,300 and no cents.
Any questions or comments on this resolution?
Yeah, what's that about? Does anyone explain that? Scott?
It's software that's gonna track data for our Strive grant for domestic violence. It's a secure, tracking that we can get through the grant.
Thank you.
Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing Fire Lieutenants Russell A. Ferraloro and Jacob R. Singular to attend the New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control First Line Supervisors Training Program beginning June 1, 2026, concluding June 26, 2026.
Any questions or comments? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing the Jamestown Police Department to enter into a purchase agreement with Axon Enterprise, Inc. for 25 Taser 10 devices. The total purchase price is $129,660 and no cents, in an amount not to exceed $15,790.10 per year.
Any questions or comments on this resolution?
Where's this money coming from?
The, first year, so this year, a large chunk is coming from our LETEC grant that we have money from still. And then we're gonna budget it for the remaining years after that. So $66,000 will be paid for this year in the LETEC grant, and then we'll budget just under $16,000 for the remaining 4 years.
All right, thank you. Okay. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing fire investigators Adam Aiken, Andrew Caruso, Ryan Saunders, Jesus Garcia, Emily Webster, and Detective Courtney Shawman to attend the International Association of Arson Investigators annual Fire Arson Investigation Seminar to be held at the Saratoga Springs City Center beginning Wednesday, May 6, 2026, and concluding on Friday, May 8, 2026, with fees and expenses paid pursuant to Section 77B of the General Municipal Law.
Any questions or comments? All right, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye. The next 7 resolutions will be presented by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Madam President. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Esteban Construction Company, Inc. for concrete work, street reconstruction 2026 Catlin Avenue, for a total bid amount of $177,150.02.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Sochner?
Aye.
Jazinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
resolution authorizing the mayor and Mark Rector Jr. P.E. to purchase one new 1550 front mower for the Parks Department from Land Pro Equipment LLC for a total amount not to exceed $18,981.14, including the trade allowance of $8,560.99.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
Excuse me, a resolution authorizing the mayor, Mark Rector Jr. P.E. to purchase one 2027 Freightliner 114 SV cab and chassis to replace truck number 16 for the DPW Streets Division from Fleet Maintenance Inc. in the amount not to exceed $152,327.32.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
And a resolution authorizing the mayor, Mark Rector Jr. P.E. to purchase dump body, frame, and salt spreader equipment to replace DPW truck number 16 for the Streets Division of the Department of Public Works from Henderson Products Inc. for a total amount not to exceed $139,136.10.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing the mayor and Mark Rector Jr. P.E. to purchase one 2026 multi-equip V305EK walk-behind roller from the DPW Streets Division from Admar Construction Equipment and Supplies in the amount not to exceed $14,424.90.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing the mayor and Mark Rector Jr. P.E. to purchase one new John Deere zero-turn mower for the Parks Department from Land Pro Equipment LLC for a total amount not to exceed $6,305.50, which includes the trade allowance of $5,401.58.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
And finally, I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with WB Mason, Erie, Pennsylvania, for a one-year contract for janitorial supplies and paper products 2026 for the total bid amount of $15,060.26. Please note the amended bid amount.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye. The next two resolutions under finance will be presented by Councilman Scotchman.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a resolution lifting the hiring freeze to allow for the hiring of one junior civil engineer position in the Department of Public Works. This position is vacant as a result of a recent employee resignation.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
I have a resolution lifting the hiring freeze to allow for the hiring of two positions in the Jamestown Police Department.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Brzezinski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye. The next resolution under public safety will be presented by Councilwoman Jarzinski.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a resolution appointing Gregory Marari and Catherine Short to the office of Commissioner of Deeds in and for the city of Jamestown for a term of 2 years.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montviglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye. Okay. So any reports of special committees? Report of city officers. Report from council members on administrative boards. We have one resolution under, which will be presented by Councilman Dopes, under safety.
Thank you, Madam President. We have a local law, number 1 of 2026, a local law providing for the position of police chief.
So moved.
And make a motion to remove this from the table.
Second.
We vote. Open the voting. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montviglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
And President Brackman.
Aye. Alrighty. Any additional messages from the mayor?
We do. We have 2 appointments. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Scott D. Forrester, 623 Hazard Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed chief of police in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment is made to expire December 31st, 2030, dated March 30th, 2026. Kimberly A. Eklund, Mayor. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Brian J. Rouch, 2081 Winch Road, Lakewood, New York, 14750, to be appointed acting fire chief in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment will be made to expire will be December 31st, 2030, dated March 30th, 2026. Kimberly A. Eklund, Mayor. Motion, second, and vote.
I make a motion to accept these appointments.
So moved.
You got the?
I've got Andrew was first, just a second.
Who's the second? Tony.
Okay,
All right, will you please
okay,
call the roll so that we can vote on these appointments?
sure. Councilman Sheldon.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Scotchmer.
Aye.
Jarzynski. Aye. Faulkner.
Aye.
Montviglio.
Aye.
Enquist.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
And President Brackman.
Aye.
Now, we would like to read your oaths. You would both stand. Okay. We'll start with Chief Forster. I state your name.
I, Scott Forster,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New York,
and the state of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
police chief
police chief
in accordance to the best of my ability.
in accordance to the best of my ability.
I
I,
state your name.
Brian Rouch,
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the state of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of acting fire chief
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
Okay, so we have 4 resolutions under new business. Resolution 20 and 21 will be presented by Councilman Scotchman.
Thank you, Madam President. Resolved that the City of Jamestown agrees to transfer title of a 3-story commercial structure adjacent vacant lot known as 8, 10, and 12 East 2nd Street, parcel SBLs number 387.40-3-38 and 387.40-3-39 to Jamestown Urban Renewal Agency, subject to the approval to form by General Council.
Okay, any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
Resolved that the Director of Public Works is authorized to purchase construction materials and services at prices quoted to the County of Chautauqua and set forth in the Chautauqua 2026 construction season purchasing guide.
Any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye. The next 2 resolutions will be presented by Councilman Dobbs.
Thank you, Madam President. Resolved that the Jamestown Police Department be and hereby is authorized to purchase a subscription to LexisNexis AVCC from LexisNexis 28330 Network Place, Chicago, Illinois 60673-1283. The total purchase price is $6,000. The subscription will be purchased with funds provided in the 2025-2026 DCJS Strive Grant.
Any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye.
Thank you, Madam President. We have a resolution. Be it resolved that the Jamestown Police Department be and hereby is authorized to purchase new silent witness cutouts as well as domestic violence awareness handouts for Project Crossroads from MW Graphics, 909 North Main Street. Total purchase price is $8,949.50. The supplies will be purchased with funds provided in the 2025-2026 DCJS Strive Grant.
Any questions or comments? Can you give me a quick this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're silhouette cutouts. They're called silent witnesses. They have stories of survivors of domestic violence and sexual abuse, and they'll put them like down. Sometimes you'll see them down in the lobby downstairs. They take them to different locations. It's basically just to raise awareness so people can read the stories, and nobody has to retell them. They read them, and it just brings awareness to it.
Okay, all right, thank you, thank you. Well, I guess we already have questions and comments. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilman Sheldon?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Scotchmer?
Aye.
Jarzynski? Aye. Faulkner?
Aye.
Montiglio?
Aye.
Enquist?
Aye.
Gonzalez?
Aye.
President Brackman.
Aye. All right, is there any questions or comments from, any of the council members? I know that, Councilman Gonzalez, you had something you wanted to state?
Absolutely. I'm very, very proud today to be talking about something good in the community, especially when it comes to our young people. I am so excited. Through Jamestown High School, Dr. Faith Graham and Corin Mundo, they educate and they help students really achieve their potential. And this year they were able to get some students with the Puerto Rican and Hispanic Youth Leadership Program to actually go to Albany this year. And what the purpose of that project, to the best of my understanding, was so that the young people can understand how civics work, how politics is not just people on the TV yelling at one another, talking about one extreme or the other extreme, but actually civics working and helping the community grow stronger. And I'm really proud of those students having that opportunity and experiencing that firsthand. Names of the students, I'm just going to read their first names, but Angela, Alejandro, Giovanni, Bianca, and Genelise, we see you, we appreciate you, and we are excited to see what type of leaders they will develop into in the future. Really proud of those young people for the work that they did to get there. So,
Thank you. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. All right, if there's no other business to come before the council this evening, I will